ready.
Dark blue, have you ever been alone in a crowded room? These are words you may or may not have heard, but they're the chorus of one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite bands, Jack's Mannequin. Andrew McMahon is the lead singer of Jack's Mannequin, and he's been a professional musician since he formed the band Something Corporate in 1998. According to Wikipedia, Andrew McMahon started playing the piano at age 8 and formed Something Corporate in 1998. Between 1998 and 2004, Something Corporate released 4 albums. Jack's Mannequin was formed in 2004 as a side project, and between 2004 and 2012, they released 3 albums. Andrew McMahon is currently touring as a solo artist, and his first solo album is set to be released on April 30th. I have been a huge Andrew McMahon fan since I bought my first Something Corporate CD in 2002, and I believe that Andrew McMahon is not only a good artist, but a great artist. Today I'd like to talk to you about the qualities that make great musicians great, and why I believe Andrew McMahon should be considered a great artist. There are many qualities that separate good artists from great artists, and experts rarely agree completely on what those qualities are. However, there are a few qualities that all experts believe great musicians must have. There are 3 qualities that I'd like to talk about today. The first is innate musicality and the ability to convey emotion. The second is the ability to be creative, and the third is passion. The first quality I'd like to speak about is innate musicality and the ability to convey emotion. According to Yale University psychologist Linda Jarvin, in a talk given at the American Psychological Association's 2003 annual conference, innate musicality, interpretation that goes beyond the notes and rhythms on the page, is one of the key qualities of a great musician. Good musicians are able to play a piece flawlessly. Great musicians take that flawless piece and give it their own interpretation and convey emotion with the music. In his book, The Master of Music, Barry Green, the former principal bassist for the Cincinnati Symphony, says, "The musicians we think of as true masters of their art are the ones whose artistry we admire. We do not admire a flawless piece because of its technical merit. We admire musicians who are able to play flawlessly because they take their flawless pieces and give them meaning. They make them resonate with the audience." The second quality I'd like to discuss is the ability to be creative. According to Barry Green, creativity is a matter of translating messages of passion, excitement, and soul into our own musical language through structure, harmony, rhythm, and style. Linda Jarvin says, "Musicians need creative abilities to perform pieces in novel but appropriate ways that distinguish them from other performers." The second quality I'd like to speak about is passion. According to Barry Green, passion isn't just something we do with feeling or emotion. It is something that compels or defines the artist. Passion for music, passion that is displayed through music, can drive and compel an artist to make their music not just good, but great. Passion touches all of us, and great musicians use their passion for music and their passion for life to convey meaning. I believe that Andrew McMahon fully meets all of these qualities and can be considered a great musician. I believe Andrew McMahon can be considered a great musician because of his innate musicality and the ability to convey emotion. 2 months before the release of Jack's Mannequin's first album, Everything in Transit, Andrew McMahon was diagnosed with having acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He immediately started chemotherapy and was unable to tour or promote his first album for 2 years. This experience with cancer has obviously greatly touched his life, and in later albums in his music he speaks about how having cancer has affected his life. In an interview with Newsweek, Andrew speaks about how The Glass Passenger, his second album with Jack's Mannequin, is a reflection of his experience with cancer. In specific, he speaks about the songs his songs Caves, which is all about his experience with cancer and deals directly with his acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He says pretty much everything covered on the album is the aftermath of what is being spoken about in Caves. So Andrew is able to convey his personal experiences through his music and is able to convey the emotions that he felt during his time with cancer and then his life after having cancer through his music. Andrew McMahon also has the ability to be creative. He is able to create music that is both interesting and varied and doesn't leave the audience with a feeling of, oh, I've just heard that song 3 songs ago. So in an interview with the Oakland Press and speaking about his newest album, Andrew says, I was in a mood to experiment and to do things a little different than I'd done before. And this shows that he is willing to be creative, to take risks, and to put himself out there in a new mindset to make his music great. The last quality of a great musician is passion, both passion for life and passion for music. According to Barry Green, music can stir passion in others because music can be an expression of our own souls. Andrew McMahon clearly meets his qualification because he puts his own soul into his music. Not only does he reference his own experiences, particularly his experience with cancer and then more recently his experiences as being a married man, but he also talks about in his interview with Newsweek about how he views writing as therapeutic and how he writes all of his songs from a therapeutic standpoint. I've also seen Max Mannequin in Something Corporate several times in concert, clearly. I have my t-shirt, which is signed by Andrew. And so he's also a very passionate performer, which is what makes seeing him in concert so great. He clearly has a passion for life and a passion for music, and he makes you feel that in the audience. So in conclusion, I love Andrew McMahon and I love his music, and not only because it's good, but because it's great. And it's great because he meets all of the qualifications that experts believe great musicians must have.